Welcome back to the series. This is Lesson 2, and we're tackling the thing everyone calls a buzzword and almost no one does well: prompt engineering for code. Here's the secret. It isn't art, it's pattern recognition. Senior devs reuse the same 5-part scaffold every single time: role, task, context, examples, constraints, and lean on just 3 repeatable patterns. Learn those, and you stop chatting with the model and start shipping code on the first try. So here's the roadmap for the next 20 minutes. 4 skills, in order: the 5-part scaffold that anchors every prompt, the 3 patterns seniors actually reuse for code, knowing when to refine versus when to burn the chat down and start over, and finally the code-specific moves: paste types, not prose, ask for plans before code, show the interfaces. Nail these 4 and you're done arguing with the model. Before we get into the scaffold, look at why it matters. Same task. Validate an email. Left side: hey, can you write me a function? The model guesses the language, hallucinates a regex, and you're 10 messages deep, still not in production. Right side: role, task, context, example, constraints. 5 lines. You get TypeScript with Zod, structured errors, shipped on the first try. Same model, same task. The structure does the work. So here's the scaffold. 5 parts: role, task, context, examples, constraints. Role sets the lens, who the AI is pretending to be. Task is the verb, what to actually do. Context is the real code, the real errors, pasted in. Examples show the pattern with input-output pairs. Constraints draw the fence. What not to do. Order's flexible, presence isn't. Skip 1 and quality drops about 20%. Hit all 5 and you get senior output every time. Here's what that looks like in the wild. A real prompt I'd actually send to ship rate limiting on an express auth route. Role tunes the AI to TypeScript backend idioms. Task is a clean verb object. Add middleware. Context pastes the actual stack and file so it's not guessing. Examples pin down concrete numbers. 5 attempts per 60 seconds per IP beats vague hand-waving every time. And constraints fence it in. Use IO-Redis, Vitest, under 80 lines, no rejects. 5 parts, 1 prompt, commit-ready output. That 5-part structure is your scaffold. It works for everything. But 3 extra patterns layer on top when the situation calls for it. Few shot. Show 2 or 3 examples when the format is easier to demonstrate than describe. Plan first. For anything non-trivial, make the AI outline steps before writing a single line. And chain of context. When it keeps missing your intent, force it to restate, list assumptions, ask questions, then code. Pick the right move. Output quality jumps. Now, even with great prompts, chats go sideways. The skill is knowing whether to refine or reset. Refine when you're 80% there, adding 1 constraint, or the AI just asked a clarifying question. Small additive moves under 5 turns. Reset when you failed 3 times, when context is a tangle of tangents, or when the original prompt was vague to begin with. Sunk cost fallacy is real. A fresh chat with a better prompt beats turn 20 every time. So let's talk tactics. 6 tricks that punch above their weight for code specifically. Paste types, not prose. A TypeScript interface gives the AI more signal in 5 lines than 5 paragraphs of description. Ask for a plan before code, then review it. That's the senior tax on anything over 30 lines. Say the word idiomatic and reference a real-style guide like Airbnb or Google Python. 1 phrase, massive quality jump. End prompts with "any questions?" to force clarification, and when you're unsure of the approach, ask for 3 implementations and pick the winner. Cheap moves, compounding returns. Here's everything compressed into 1 screen. 12 patterns that cover 90% of what you'll prompt for. Role sets the vocabulary. Task stays direct with verb plus object. Context means pasting actual files and types instead of describing them. Examples teach pattern, constraints kill scope creep, plan first buys you a review checkpoint, chain of context, idiomatic, show 3 ways, any questions, and when the chat is clearly stuck after 3 tries, reset. Don't fight a poisoned context. Screenshot this slide. It's your scaffold. Now flip the scaffold over. Here's what kills your hours. Can you help me with? Is filler that signals uncertainty. Describing code instead of pasting it forces the AI to guess badly. Asking for code before clarifying intent buys you 20 minutes of adapting plausible but wrong output. Letting one chat span 5 tasks bleeds context everywhere. And skipping constraints, lines, libraries, style, guarantees over-engineered defaults. 12 words up front prevents most of it. Theory's cheap. Here's where it sticks. 3 exercises. Do them today. First, take a vague prompt you'd normally fire off and rewrite it with all 5 parts. Run both. Watch the senior version land working code on the first try. Second, pick a real backlog feature and force yourself to get a 5-step plan approved before any code touches the screen. Third, find a stuck chat past 10 turns, open a fresh one, and reprompt with everything you've learned. After these 3, the scaffold is muscle memory. And that's lesson 02 in the bag. You've got the 5-part structure, few shot, plan first, chain of context, refine versus reset, and show don't describe, the full senior toolkit for shaping prompts. Next up, lesson 03, choosing your stack, Cursor, Copilot, Claude Code, ChatGPT, when each one wins and when it doesn't. It's the buyer's guide and the last foundations lesson before we go daily. See you there.